After you give up alcohol, novelty creates neurogenesis. I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com, and today I wanted to talk about neurogenesis and novelty, right? The novelty once you quit drinking. The neurogenesis is the creation of new neurons in your mind, right? And a lot of scientists have said that this didn't happen. This only happens when you're a kid, right? When you're in the womb, when you're a baby, that these new neurons are being created in order to help you to learn, in order to help you to adapt to the world that you're born into, and all that kind of stuff, right? But there's a lot of recent research which is suggesting that this process happens throughout your life, and it happens mostly when you're learning, right? So it helps with your memory, it helps to retain the new learning, and it helps to develop your brain in new ways, right? I mean, I love this field of, as I say, neurogenesis or neuroplasticity, which is the ability of your brain to sort of transform itself and to change its shape. Not physically form into something else, but to change the synaptic pathways and to alter and, just basically adapt to what you're doing in your life. One of the things is that people say is that the alcoholics, the thing that defines alcoholism and alcoholics is that their brain has actually changed, right? And yeah, it does, there's no doubt about that. But your brain changes all the time, If you sit down in your arse and do nothing, your brain is going to change, right? Something's going to happen to your brain. There's no doubt about it. Your brain alters to your circumstances, to the context that you're in, to the person that you are. And it atrophies more than anything else, I should say, because you lose a lot of the natural talents that you've got. The more you do one thing, the less you can do something else, and the less you use certain parts of your brain, less you use certain parts of your body, the more atrophied they will become, the more disused they will become, and the more useless they will become, right? So, they say, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? That's an old saying in muscle building world, where people are trying to build their bodies up and stuff. You have to use your muscles or you're going to lose them. You have to use your skills or you'll lose them. It's different when they say, well, yeah, once you can ride a bike, you can always ride a bike. Yeah, depends on what level of bike riding you want to do. If you want to ride a bike competitively and you don't ride it competitively for a long time, then you'll still be able to get up and balance on the bike, but there's no way you're going to be able to compete in bike races. Same thing with anything in life, right? So that's from one perspective. Alcohol sort of kills your certain parts of your brain. It alters certain parts of your brain in a bad way. In the other direction, on the other hand, when you stop drinking alcohol, you undergo a process of change. You have to go through the change, and the change is not in you stopping drinking, right? That's only the first part of this. It's only the minimum part of this, right? What you have to do is you have to change the framework that your life has been built around, right? So all the different things that you've been doing in your life that have held up the alcohol, that have maintained that alcohol behavior, you've got to change those, right? So this is where novelty comes in, and you have to start learning new things. You have to start thinking about what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. Think about things from your perspective. And this is where the novelty comes in. But novelty builds your brain. It builds neurons. Learning builds neurons. Learning prevents so many different diseases from happening in your life. They've said, well, brain diseases such as Alzheimer's or dementia, all different types of dementias can be halted, reversed through people learning, through people using their brains. That's why they say, well, it's important to keep using, it's important to do crossword puzzles, to do brain games, to, all this kind of brain training stuff is coming out now. And this is what that's tapping into, is that idea that if you don't use your brain, then you're going to lose your brain. But the more you use your brain, the more you use your brain in the right way, the more you challenge yourself, whether that's challenging your environment, whether that's challenging yourself with the people that you're with, challenging yourself to learn new languages, new skills, whatever it is that you're going to do, you're going to actually grow different parts of your brain. You're going to help to heal your brain from all the alcohol abuse that you've done. So, when something new comes into your life, your neurons start firing off, right? This is just a fact. It sort of sparks things to happen. Like I was saying in a previous video, we're wired for to avoid the new, to be inside our comfort zones, just because we were once the hunted, right? We were once the one that the animal, the big animal with the big teeth wanted to eat, and eat not only you but eat your kids as well. But all that wiring does us no good in the modern world. So this novelty gets your neurons firing, and the opposite is true as well. When you are inside your comfort zone, when you do the same thing day after day with the same people, you're in the same environment, you try and do all the same types of stuff, you don't learn anything new, then your neurons are firing less and less. You're using your brain less and less, and what you don't use, you lose. So this is video is just sort of to try and get you to see that by quitting drinking and by pushing yourself into this new world that you're inevitably going to have to face, right, without alcohol, to change certain aspects of your life. You're going to do not only your body the power of good and your brain the power of good by getting rid of this toxic influence and this substance from your brain, but you're going to do your brain the power of good, because all this new learning that you're going to have to do is going to build new brain cells, right? It's going to help you to remap your brain, and that's the hardest part, is remapping. But that remapping will start to go on from the beginning. It's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's like losing weight. You can't lose weight overnight. It's like becoming pregnant, right? When a woman becomes pregnant, she can't go, oh well, like 4.5 months is going now, I'll just see if I can pop out this baby. It doesn't happen like that. You have to go through the whole process. It has to be sort of 9 months, and that's it. You have to go through that whole thing. Same way as the alcohol, you have to go through the discomfort. You have to put up with the discomfort for as long as that discomfort lasts. The discomfort is always going to be dialed up or dialed down depending on what way you think about it. And your brain has to remold itself around your new life. It has to rebuild itself. But it will do that, and the more challenge that you can give yourself, the easier that will become in the future, because these new pathways will spur you on to do more and better things, better and better things. It'll become easier and easier to do those, to make those improvements in your life. So that's it for today. Just sort of a nice one on a nice word that I like, neurogenesis. There's neuroplasticity. But these are things that are happening all the time. These are things that happen one way or another. Either neuroplasticity can work for you or it can work against you. If you carry on drinking, then your brain will mold itself to the configuration of a drinker. If you stop drinking, you make the changes in your life that you need to make, your brain will reconfigure itself to the configuration of a non-drinker, right? So that's it for now. If you have any questions at all, leave a comment down below. Coming over to the website, you'll find the audio of this and the transcript. Stay safe, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, keep making those changes and keep learning. This is how we grow. You carry on growing, your brain is capable of carrying on, of continuing to grow well into your old age. I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery. Onwards and upwards.